John chapter 4, verse 8, it is written, "He who does not love does not know God, for God is love." Now in just 2 days, we're going to be celebrating that big love day, right? Valentine's Day again. But how many of us really understand that scripture? That scripture that's talking about to love. Because to love is more than just loving one special person. Yes? When that scripture says, "He who does not love does not know God, for God is love," it's talking about being love, about being loving to everyone in our lives. Breathe. So does that mean you have to buy chocolates and flowers for everyone that you know?
Yes.
Kind of a tall order, yes. Well, in Valentine, Nebraska, there is such a place. It has a population of about 2,000 people. They almost do just that. They celebrate all of them in the town because, of course, it's their namesake. And they spread the love everywhere. They have made a decision to live up to that name, Valentine, each and every year. And this morning I was wondering if you and I can maybe do the same thing. To pick a day and to choose to be loving to everyone. And what better day than Tuesday? Valentine's Day. But you're like, "Oh, BJ, I have special plans with my special one." But maybe just perhaps you're willing to just dip your toe into the water and try for 24 hours to be love and to be loving to everyone you meet. Now, if that's a little bit too much, perhaps I can get you to take even a step further. You think it's going to get off easy. Okay, I could do it for one day, 24 hours maybe. But I want to suggest to you, how about looking at doing it one day each week for the rest of this year? And what better day than the Sabbath day, than Sunday? How about all the Sundays of 2012 starting today? Oh, but I really had a confrontation I wanted to make today. You know, we're taught in the Bible to observe the Sabbath. And if God is love, like we're told in the first letter to John, then to observe the Sabbath, I have to spend 24 hours out of my week being love. Because God is love. I'm created in the image and likeness of God, so I am love. If I want to know God more. That's what it means to observe the Sabbath. 24 hours every Sunday, not judging or criticizing, not being grumpy or hateful or mean. But giving everyone, including myself, a break from all actions that are unlike love. Can you imagine what it would be like? Not just the hour in church, 24 hours a day for the Sabbath. On the main street in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, is Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum. How many of you have been there to Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum? You have? How cool. Well, if you want to be a loving person, this could be a really great place to do a little bit of research. Robert Ripley reported that the longest and simplest love letter ever written was the work of a Parisian painter by the name of Marcel de Leclerc. I'll say that right. Marcel de Leclerc in 1875. It was addressed to this woman named Magdalene de Villalore. But this love letter contained just one phrase, repeated over and over and over again. Can you imagine what it is? I love you. Marcel had this written out 1,875,000 times. Remember the year? Right? 1875. 1,000 times that number he had written, I love you. Now Marcel did not pen this letter with his own hand. He hired a scribe. No wonder, right? But before you write it off, listen to this. He was so entranced with the sound of I love you that he dictated it to the scribe word by word. And had the hired scribe, the hired man, repeat it verbatim. All in all, the phrase was uttered a total of 5,625,000 times before it reached its destination. What better lesson or exercise could one do to be loved and to be loving than to say, I love you more than 5 million times? What do you think that would do to our consciousness? How many of you have been in 4T? We only ask you to say, I'm prosperous 200 times a day for 21 days. To say, I love you 5,625,000 times. Now, Valentine's Day, it dates back 6 centuries. It's been with us a very, very long time. And any day of the year that we decide we're going to become just a little bit more loving, even if it's just with our spouse or our girlfriend or our boyfriend, is a good day for humanity. Because the two greatest things to hold on to in this world are God and each other. To quote my colleague, Unity Minister Chris Jenoweth, love is the power that links the lonely islands of different people's souls beaten down by icy separation and seas of ignorance and fear and circumstance. Makes us feel a little less cold, doesn't it? Now, just a few minutes ago, I suggested that in addition to Valentine's Day, we could have the opportunity every Sunday, right, in observance of the Sabbath, to put that power of love in action. You know, almost every week in this church, we didn't do it this week for those of you who are new, but almost every week, because of the board installation, almost every week in this church, we affirm our mission statement. Unity Church of Central Massachusetts is a loving spiritual home that celebrates the Christ presence in everyone. A loving spiritual home. Wouldn't it be incredible to begin today, this day, from this room, to be that love in expression? When I agree to do this, I'm saying yes to God, and I'm saying, yes, this morning, I'm going to let divine love flow in and through me. Again, I was amazed when Joseph was reading the Daily Word. I promise I did not read the Daily Word ahead of time. But all the imagery in there of the activity and the presence of God moving in and through us and coming forth as peace and prosperity and love and joy. But I want to challenge us to take it even a step further. You're not getting off the hook with Valentine's Day or every Sunday. I thought I was going to stop there, huh? I wanted to challenge to take it even one step farther. Instead of just one day a week, what about 40 days right in a row? You know what I'm talking about? What's coming up? Not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, Ash Wednesday, the beginning of Lent. It's actually 45 or 46 days. Because for those of you who might not know, Lent, you get to take Sundays off as feast days. But you don't get to take Sundays off because we're doing the Sabbath, right? But I'm just going to refer to Lent as 40 days. That's what we're used to. So I'm going to be loving. I've made the decision. I'm going to be loving to everyone I meet during Lent. For 40 days, I'm going to suspend my judgments against people. You can hold me to this. Suspend my anger. Suspend my criticism and condemnation. And if at the end of this experiment, I choose to take up the anger, the hate, the disagreement with others, I could do that. But for 40 days, I'm going to walk the high path and be a real expression of God in this world. For 40 days, I'm going to truly follow Jesus the Christ. We call him the way shower, right? Show me the way, as long as it's not the highway. You know, his main teaching was about love, folks. What was the great new commandment he gave us? Love one another as I have loved you. That was the one and only commandment he gave to us. You know, the two great commandments we teach, they come from the Old Testament. He said, this is the new commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. Will you join me in Lent? Hey, you guys, no, I'm not talking, this is me now. Will you join me?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to it. Raise your hand.